Hi guys, and welcome back to Chip's Green World. In this week's vlog we're going to be going on a tour of the courtyard garden, and it's been quite a while since the last update, as the last time we were in the courtyard was when we did the Christmas display back in December. And as I'm behind in all my gardening jobs, I'm just quickly finishing off planting the back border in the courtyard before we start the tour. So while I finish this planting off, cue the intro. Hi and welcome back to Chip's Green World. I'm Chip, this is the courtyard, that's Spud, Flower, that's Gypsy Boy, the work, the jobs. Join us on our adventures. Let's get to work. Right, so back in the courtyard. I've just finished planting up the back border, so we're going to give these a good drink. Filling in time really, because Gypsy Boy is still mowing the lawn in the top garden and I don't want that noise on the soundtrack of the courtyard tour. Right, I think we're a go, so let's start. The courtyard, not as it seems. A bit of smoke and mirrors maybe. So let me tell you a bit about it. Believe it or not, it's only about 2.5 years old. And it was only done as a temporary measure, as we had plans to connect the house to the potting shed via a glass link and turn the potting shed into a studio. But the plans were put on hold as the neighbouring house started a 2-year building project, and we thought it might be too much to start the project alongside them. So let's go back 3 years, and this is the monstrosity that used to fill the courtyard. It was built illegally along with the windows that were fitted, as this is a grade 2 listed house. When we purchased the house there was a covenant on the house that said by law this all had to be taken down and put back to how it would originally have been. So me and Gypsy Boy set to work. We dismantled it and sold it on Marketplace. I think we made about 350 quid. Then I set to design in the courtyard, and as I left the subfloor down and the foundations, as they were the height of the original pathway and there would be more building work going on, so I just laid the reclaimed bricks on the old foundations. So back to the present day, and hopefully now it explains why the courtyard is how it is. Everything in the courtyard is in pots, smoke and mirrors. From the huge acer to the baby spilled flowers, everything is potted up. Even the fern is just wedged between the font and the spilled flowers, and I must admit it's doing quite well. Doubled in size since I planted it, and the font has really added a bit of character. This is a medieval font, not a replica. But what a job me and Gypsy Boy had picking it up. A very amusing story, but I won't go into that today. Right, back to the courtyard. And as the courtyard is only 2.5 years old, the majority of the pots, trees, plants and shrubs have been travelling around the country with me while I've been doing properties up. For example, this japonica has been in a pot for 23 years. The ferns have self-seeded at the bottom of the pot. I think they're tree ferns. All the hostas are very happy in their little pots, mixed in with the ferns. I do have a soft spot for a fern. The twisted hazel that we're coming across now has been in the pot for 22 years. Only got a repot 2 years ago. Doing ever so well. And sometimes I move the plants when I move, and sometimes I leave them behind and plant them up. I planted a number of trees, shrubs in all the past gardens. And when I do eventually move, the pots do get their own removal van. For example, these 2 kiwis. These are in pots and these moved with me when I moved here. I have been meaning to build a pergola and plant them, but not got round to it yet. Maybe this summer if I catch up on all my gardening jobs. So I hope it goes to show and give you a bit of confidence if you've got a hard stand-in and you think I can't have a garden. This goes to prove you can have a garden, except you won't be able to have this in it, because this is the old plum tree that came with the house. And look, plums. We had a bad year for plums last year, so it's nice to see them back again. Then we have the 16-year-old olive tree in the centre of the courtyard. Then directly under there is the courtyard display table, but we'll swing back this way in a minute and talk a bit more about that in depth. So let's go to the other side of the font and talk a bit about what's going on. Here we have the primulas and the little ferns. I've put an inch of compost down in certain places, covered it with the pebbles and the gravel, and the plants seem to be okay with it. I even got a little violet. So what's going on with these pots? This is going in one pot, and this one's getting the same treatment as it did back in vlog 21. Rescue, repot and reshape. Then I'll have 4. I'm going to put 2 in the pots down here, and then I'm going to put 2 in the pots at the top garden. But that'll be next week's vlog, so don't miss that one. Right, now onto the back border that we've just finished planting up. I had to cut all the periwinkle and the ivy away so it would give me a bit of space to plant. And the plants we've planted: 2 skimmier white globes, 1 flax lily and 2 ferns. And if you recognise the flax lily and the skimmier white globes, it's because they're off the Christmas courtyard display table, alongside this hookerer and this fern. They had a star and roll in the Halloween vlog. Then alongside them we have the mini topiary ball and the creeping wire vine. The mini topiary ball needs a trip to the barber's. And the fern's looking as good as when I first put it on, if not better. And the courtyard display table has come in very handy for displaying plants. And it also has a secondary function. It's to stop my olive tree getting too much water every time it rains. As 3 years ago it got waterlogged. It was in a smaller pot back then, so I repotted it, added a lot of grit to the compost, added 2 inches of gravel to the bottom of the pot, and now it seems happy. And now I can control how much water it gets. And it's healthier now than it's ever been, adding a lot more shade to the courtyard. The 6 boxes topiary balls are due a trim. I'm not sure whether I should vlog it this time round though. You let me know down below whether you would like to see that. And if enough of you's message, then I'll gladly film that one for you. The poppies have managed to get down into the courtyard, self-seeding from the top garden. They are beautiful there. The courtyard at the moment's getting the sun blasting straight directly down on it. It doesn't like it whatsoever, but now we're past the longest day, everything should start cooling down and greening up. A much happier courtyard. Right, I've just realised I haven't spoken about the pebbles at all. So the pebbles, I ordered 2 big dumpy bags online. They're Scottish pebbles. I used 1.5 bags in the courtyard, and the other half a bag went to do the pebble pool, which turned out absolutely beautiful. But I have to say, I do think the pebbles are just as successful in the courtyard. Just one other thing that I wanted to mention. The 2 boxes topiary balls by the back door. These I rescued. This is how they looked when I found them in a skip. I cut the top off them, I planted them, fed them, and look at them now. Absolutely beautiful. So, there you go. The courtyard tour. Hope you've enjoyed. Hope you'll like, subscribe, and I hope you'll join us next week. I'm going to join Spud on the bench and have a G&T and watch the sun go down. Have a great week everybody. Bye now.